And I saw a Korean Jesus. They had a Korean Jesus with the... Don't get mad. How else would I know? It was just, what, Korean Jesus? Ooh, whatever. Whatever.
I remember I was in a taxi, I think in New York, and the driver was Muslim, and there was a woman crossing in front of us, and he honked at her because she went after the light had turned, and she gave him the finger. And he said to me, "Do you know in my country, if a woman show you this finger, I could get out, beat her to death, and if I drive by here a week later, she'd still just be laying there." Like nobody would even clean it up.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The truth is Jesus was black, but you don't see that often. Black Jesus. Hey man, get me the fuck down from here. Whatever, all right. Airplane one time, and a married couple came on, and they had been sat separately. There was some mistake. The woman, she's supposed to sit here, she comes up to me and she says, "Would you mind moving so I can sit with my husband?" And he's behind her, he's like... And I wanted to help him. But what am I going to say to his wife? Just, "No, I won't move." So I just got off the plane. I didn't go on the trip. And it took off and it hit the World Trade Center. So that was...
You ever feel like you're gonna fart and then instead you shit on your father's face? And everybody on the bus is like, "Hey, that's not appropriate." And you're like, "I thought it was gonna be a fart." And they go, "Oh, all right then."
Because, look, my mom just died. She just died. That's how it works. By the way, for you young people, here's how life goes. One of your parents is gonna die. And the other one is just never gonna fucking die. And guess what? It's not the one you wanted. Nope.
You know, people hate child molesters so much. They hate them worse than murderers or anybody else.
Right.
So getting caught child molesting is just, that's the end.
That's the worst.
It's really the end of your life in every way. Your friends are gone. Whatever you had is gone.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's why a lot of kids that get molested get killed. Because it's like once you whatever got you to the moment where you molested a kid.
Right.
Once you hit that moment, you're like, I can't let this kid go now because I'm fucked if this kid goes home and tells anybody. So you kill the kid.
Right.
So the bit was that if we could hate child molesting a little less, we might get some kids back.
Wow, that is a brilliant thought.
If somebody could go say to themselves, "All right, I molest," somebody could call you and go, "Hey, I molested your kid. You want him back after soccer? Or do you want me to drop him off at his game? Doesn't he have any allergies I should know about?" What I just said is true.
Right.
That if we hated child molesters less children would die.
Right.
I don't know what to do with that information.
You don't know where to go.
I don't know what to do with it. I can't make any
to the right place today. Yeah, this is the place to air those kinds of thoughts.
You know, like when you were in school, did you ever have when you were in school, when you were a kid, like fantasies about your parents dying so that you'd be really special in school? Like if your parents got killed, you'd go to school and they'd make an announcement, "Joey's parents died today," so everybody and all the cute girls would come up and go, "Are you okay?" and stuff like that, which would never happen. They just walk up and you go, "I'm still not gonna fuck you, you faggot." That's what would have happened. And that would have I would have jerked off to that and had a better time than if I fucked them. Seriously, to me.
Some Catholics believe that contraception is murder. They think if you wear a condom, if you stop a sperm from getting to an egg, you killed a possible baby. By that logic, I could say that any woman that won't fuck me is a murderer. Let me tell you, there's a bunch of murdering bitches out there.
Well, FX took my series off. I don't know why.
The fuck?
It's so weird. It was really successful.
Yeah.
And then they just made an arbitrary decision.
That's weird.
To just... I mean, I was baffled. I was like, "Guys, why?" We're like, "It's just the feeling we have." I was like, "That's weird, guys."
Probably
like
a new CEO. They always do shit like that.
That's the thing. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
There wasn't one, but maybe it's something like that.
Like 9/11, you had to end the sorrow and the anger and the rage and the sadness. You had to go, dude, fucking bullseye. Bullseye. One of my favorite stories about it was there was a documentary about it on PBS after, and they talked they tried once before with the truck bomb. So they interviewed a federal marshal who escorted one of the perpetrators of that first bombing to his trial in Manhattan. And they had him in a helicopter, and they're flying to the courthouse. So he's next to the prisoner. And they're flying right next to the World Trade Center.
My God, this guy.
And the federal guy, the Fed marshal, is just a cop. He says, I pointed at the buildings and I said, you didn't get him, did you? And the guy just coldly said, we'll get him.
Wow.
They did. Those buildings are no longer there.
Yes.
They're no longer there.
People talk about, like, don't eat dolphins when they're in the tuna. Pick out the dolphins, right? You gotta pick it out, like raisins. But like, you ever go to shop for tuna and like it says dolphin safe, and you kind of go like, yeah, but like somehow you think it's not going to be as good. Like, I want to do the right thing, but it's probably kind of bland without the dolphin. But here's the thing, like, why not kill and eat a dolphin? Why not? Oh, because, well, no, I don't fucking get it. If you're a tuna, fuck you, we're eating you. So I don't really see the difference. And I think it's wrong to eat tuna and dolphin and cows and everything. But I eat them. I eat them all. Because I don't care that it's wrong. I totally think it's terrible, but that's not important to me, that it's terrible. So what if it's wrong? It tastes good. And I like the way it feels when I eat it, so fuck it. But I'm not going to pretend I'm doing something that's okay just because it doesn't think or something. So when I think about that, I think, yeah, so people die. What's the big deal? They're dead, and some of them might have been assholes. You don't know. I just want to say I'm not trying to say that if you're white, you can't complain.
Right.
I'm just saying that if you're black, you get to complain more.
Right.
Because you can't. There you go.
Don't tell the band that.
Yeah. Because you can't, that's right. You can't take people's, like, historical context away from them. And everybody wants us to. Like, white people are always like, come on, it wasn't us. Like, they want black people to forget everything. Like, every year, white people add 100 years to how long ago slavery was. I've heard educated white people say slavery was 400 years ago. No, it very wasn't. It was 140 years ago. That's two 70-year-old ladies living and dying back to back. That's how recently you could buy a guy.
That's right.
And it's not like slavery ended and then everything has been amazing. Like it just...
Oh, glad that's over.
Oh, yeah, it just ended like a clean where you don't have to wipe. Just boom. And then it's just been parades and presents ever since. You gotta remember that if you meet a black person, they have gray hair, they remember a time they weren't allowed to use a certain toilet. So give them a little, time to be cranky. And by the way, white people have our own thing that stuff that we went through.
Sure.
That hurt us, that we have to cope with. Like when they took our slaves away. That was really hard for us. And we're still, so it's pretty even.
Yeah. No, this is what I always like. When I was in Australia, everybody told me that they watched my show, and I figured they must be getting old versions of it because it doesn't air there. But they were watching the show like the week before because the whole country pirates there. Here, weirdos kind of pirate. There's not that many people that pirate here.
Yeah.
But in Australia, moms and dads pirate video because we're not letting them buy it because we're keeping it from them.
Yeah.
We have shows that have been on the air here for like 3 years, and we won't even give them if they're given the option. Like everybody in the world is like, take my fucking credit card and just let me have the thing, and I'll pay. But if you're gonna be a pain in the ass, fuck you! I can steal all of it. So the whole country of Australia rips TV. And I learned this. So when I put my Beacon special, one of the big important things to me was that it was globally available right away. And they're happy to buy it, right? So I told FX they should sell my show on my website. And they said that we can't do that because we can't let other countries see it before.
Oh, boy.
And what they're doing, all those companies and this piece of shit fucking company that we're talking on right now
is they're keeping money out. It's a cage. It's keeping money out. It's not keeping it in. They
Right.
think they're keeping money in, but they're keeping it out.
Yeah.
By the way, what you just said, that should be a fucking infomercial for SiriusXM. It's fucking enraging how they don't see
Yeah,
that.
why would they do it that way? It makes no
So
sense.
you know how long companies are doing business the same way before you decide to put something on your site and do it differently. It's like nobody wants to do anything differently until someone does it, and then everyone goes, "Oh, that's
Imagine
what
having
they're
to buy a different TV for Fox News, Fox, FX.
No.
No, you got to buy a different TV that gets that. And then you got to pay a premium.
The way radio and TV got so big was that there was nothing you had to do.
Right.
You didn't have to pay for it. You watch. You didn't even know you were paying. You're paying for it by watching advertising.
Right.
You didn't even realize that you were paying their bills.
Your time.
That you were
Right.
doing them a favor by watching the shit. The feeling was that you just click it on, and there's all this amazing shit. Your
Coming in my
favorite
house.
music.
It's amazing.
Your favorite stars, great stories, movies that were just out. It was amazing.
It's magic.
Free. It was free. It really felt that way.
Yeah.
But now with the internet and with all this stuff and this shit and this subscription shit, they're like, well, we need you to give us this, and you can only have this part, and then you can only do that. It's
Like,
just
well, I'll get free. I'm
Yeah.
going to go find free. Thank you.
And
worst.
it's absolutely right. They should make it fucking easier. And their thing is, well, from a paid service, you get unlimited content and no commercials. Okay, fine. But still don't make it difficult once you're inside that area. You should be able... I don't have us on my car radio. I am not listening to someone on my car radio.
I don't either.
That's amazing.
Because my car came with the Sirius radio, so I didn't want to bother with the shit, and I could probably make a couple calls and get a VIP account.
and that's a pain in the ass. Who needs it?
I just
And
didn't
also,
want to.
I'm a regular person. I'm like, this is not, I don't know. I seriously recommend everybody that can hear my voice shut off the system that is letting you hear it.
We hear this shit every fucking day from our listeners. And then the listeners that are hardcore and they understand that they need to pay for the service to keep us alive, they get so frustrated and go, look, I tried, but I'm just going to get it for free somewhere.
And it's offset by the people who were paying for the other one.
Right.
That's the thing that's crazy about it. Once I had two cars, I'm like, wait a minute, but I'm paying to have both.
You nailed it, because I have an XM radio in my house, but there's Sirius channels I kind of like now, and I go, oh, that's right, I can't listen to them in the fucking house.
Football. What the fuck?
Right. You're so right.
No.
Have everything, and that's how you're a real competition
Just
to
make
radio.
make it fucking easy as possible. That's the first rule of business.
No, all companies that do I had So Truman went to the Senate, and then when he was a senator, his focus was graft during World War II. Basically, all the money, like billions of dollars, would be appropriated for the war and given to American industries, and they would all steal them. And every senator in Washington was stealing all the war. We were fighting Hitler, and everybody in Washington was just stealing money and fleecing their fucking pockets, like openly in front of everybody. And so Truman had this idea: let's not do that. Let's
try to win.
Let's try to win, and let's try to get the money to the soldiers who are dying. And everyone hated him. That's why they hated him. They fucking hated him. And even Roosevelt. What's that?
I would have hated him.
Everybody hates the guy.
Stay out of this.
Yeah, everybody hates the one guy.
Yeah.
Even FDR was like, do we really want a guy who's like,
we need a leader.
Steal the money.
Yeah.
So they made him vice president. Nobody liked him. They locked him out of like they always do to the vice president. So one night he's in Sam Rayburn's office. Sam Rayburn was like the greatest speaker of the House ever. Sam Rayburn, there's the building that all the offices are in, is the Sam Rayburn building. He was like the first great speaker, one of the great speakers. So Sam Rayburn, he's in his office playing poker with Sam Rayburn. They had a poker room, like a dark, original smoky room. And Truman is just a loser, vice president. Nobody talks to him. And he's playing poker with Sam and the other guys late into the night, just having a good time. And then he gets a call. There's a call for you. And it's Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, my husband just died.
Yeah.
You need to get to the White House. So out of habit, because nobody cared about him, he just went on the street alone and hailed a cab.
Yeah.
And there was one moment where he's in a taxi and he realizes, Jesus Christ, we're at war, and the President of the United States is in a taxi. Nobody knows where I am. And then the famous moment is that he got to the White House and Eleanor greeted him at the door. And he said, Mrs.
President or whatever, is there anything I can do for you? And she says, Mr. President, is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is going to suck.
Yeah. She's like, you're the one who's in trouble.
Truman's going to blow.
Yeah.
But he was a very good fucking president.
He nuked Japan.
Dropped the bomb. There's a
and don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
They had it coming. All right. There's this thing in history where everyone wants to be like, I can't believe they did that. Look into it.
No, there's the account of the announcement of the Truman was on a ship when he was on a big ship and he was having a big banquet.
Yeah.
And he got the report in his ear, like George Bush, that they had just
it
dropped.
worked.
Yeah, that it worked. Because nobody knew if it even worked. And he did a little ting, 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 ting.
Hey,
everybody, just so you know, we dropped a bomb on the jet on Hiroshima. It worked. And we're starting to get, and then I think Nagasaki had dropped after also. Yeah. And it looks like
a day later.
And everybody applauded because there was no conflict.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese were never going to surrender.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that would have died, this is what it's like when you get deep into a war. How many people have died so far? How many more will die if we do it this way?
Yeah.
How many will die if we do it this way? So that's what happened. I don't have an opinion about it. I don't.
I do.
But that's fine.
But here's the thing. Nobody cares about Dresden. Nobody cares about...
No, Dresden, way more people died.
Yeah, and it's also... And first off, not more horrifically, both had, like, fire tornadoes.
Yes.
That just wiped out.
Well, they set the atmosphere on fire.
Yeah, it's the scariest thing in the world.
It's awful.
It sucked the oxygen out of a city, and there were fire tornadoes.
Yes.
People were melting in the streets.
Yes.
Into the street. The
going
pavement,
down the drains.
The pavement melted. So they'd run out of their houses, and their feet would get stuck. And then they'd reach down and then just be stuck in the fucking... I mean, it's the worst thing in the world. But you know... They might have had it coming,
but
of course, these are civilians.
There's a joke about two agents running into each other on the street in Hollywood, and one of them was like, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And he goes, "Oh, I produced a special for whatever. Just pick a, Celine Dion or whatever."
Yeah.
He goes, "How'd you like working with her?" And she's like, "Fucking cunt, fucking worthless, fucking spoiled brat, fucking drunk, fucking drug-addled cunt. I hope she fucking dies." And the other guy goes, "She's my niece." And the guy goes, "Let me finish." It's an old joke.
Like others, our last guest is an all-rounder. Actor, comedian, Emmy Award-winning writer, filmmaker. He is ranked number 98 on Comedy Central's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Time. But what the fuck do they know? For us, he's number one tonight. Louis C.K.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. I'm happy just to be here as a ticket holder, just to watch everything that's happened. The Stiller family, and that was crazy, and Kevin, and the guy that looks like Dick Cheney at the end there. A very nice version of Dick Cheney. He's not a lizard, I don't think, but I think I can just tell you what George is. I'm a comedian, and I do what he did, and he was the first person I knew that I knew what comedy was. Children love to laugh, but most people that make children laugh for a living suck at it. Clowns aren't funny. There doesn't exist a funny clown. If a person was funny, they'd do comedy because you make money doing it. No clowns. There's no HBO clown specials if you make a bunch of money. So clowns suck. And kids just look at them and just go, just please stop trying to make me laugh. There's nothing worse than a person who's not funny trying to be funny, and that's what a clown is. A guy waiting for a bus is funnier than a shit clown at a kid's party. But kids need to laugh, so the first time you really laugh means a lot to you. And I remember my first big, grown-up feeling laugh, and I saw George Carlin on Saturday Night Live, and he said, what do dogs do on their day off? They can't lay around, that's their job. And something went off, and I just couldn't stop laughing. The idea was born in my head at that moment. I want to be funny. I want to be a comedian. I didn't know that a grown person could be a comedian. That's an incredible thing to me. And I had other heroes, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, Bill Cosby, but George was like me. He was an East Coast Catholic. I had something to identify with him. And the first time I remember getting a laugh, I was in fourth grade, and they asked the class, the teacher said, there are 3 bones in the skull. Name one. And I said, the noggin. And I got a big laugh. And I thought, hey, I could do this. I could be like George. So I started doing, right out of high school, started doing stand-up. Didn't go to college, didn't pursue anything else professionally, really. I started doing stand-up. First time I went on stage, I did a minute and a half, and I bombed. It was terrible. But I wanted it so badly that I kept trying, and I learned how to write jokes. And I just had jokes, kind of funny thoughts. And about 15 years later, I had been going in a circle that didn't take me anywhere. Nobody gave a shit who I was, and I didn't either. I honestly didn't. I used to hear my act and go, this is shit, and I hate it. But I've been doing this for 15 years, and stopping now is like getting out of prison. Like, what do you do after 15 years of stand-up comedy? How do you re-enter the workforce? So I was in a really bad place. I hated my act. I've been doing the same hour of comedy for 15 years, and it was shit, I promise you. And I was working places like Chinese restaurants, and I'd do a show in a Chinese restaurant where they don't even know there's a show going to happen. They're there to eat, and all of a sudden you'd go, hey, everybody, and people are like, I'm eating. I don't want to be forced to sit in this. So I was doing a Chinese restaurant called the Kowloon in Boston, in Saugus, Massachusetts, and I was sitting in my car after the show just feeling like, this was all a big mistake. I'm not good enough. And I felt like my jokes were a trap. And I listened to a CD of George talking about comedy and the workshopping it and talking about it seriously. And the thing that blew me away about this fellow was that he just kept putting out specials. Every year there'd be a new George Carlin special, a new George Carlin album. They just kept coming, and each one was deeper than the next. And I just thought, how can he do that? And it made me literally cry that I could never do that. I was telling the same jokes for 15 years. So I'm listening, and they ask him, how do you do all this material? And I'm like, and I hear him, and he says, well, I just decided every year I'd be working on that year's special. And I'd do the special, and then I'd just chuck out the material. And I'd start again with nothing. And I thought, that's crazy. How do you throw away? It took me 15 years to build this shitty hour. If I throw it away, I got nothing. But he gave me the courage to try. And also, I was desperate. What the fuck else was I going to do? This idea that you throw everything away and you start over again. And I thought, well, okay, when you're done telling jokes about airplanes and dogs, and you throw those away, what do you got left? You can only dig deeper. Start talking about your feelings and who you are. And then you do those jokes and they're gone. You got to dig deeper. So then you start thinking about your fears and your nightmares and doing jokes about that. And then they're gone. And then you start going into just weird shit. Yeah, eventually you get to your balls. But there's a whole... It's a process that I watched him do my whole life, and I started to try to do it. And I started to think, because he says whatever he wants. What do I really want to say that I'm afraid to say? And at the time I was a father. I am still a father. But at the time I didn't take off yet. The jury's out. My oldest is 8. I could still split. So far I'm still there. I was having a lot of hard time being a father. And I wanted to say it on stage. And one night I thought, okay, forget all the old jokes. I'm going to start again. And I thought of the first thing. I said, I can't have sex with my wife, because we have a baby, and our baby's a fucking asshole. It's just what I was feeling, and I said it. And the audience went, whoa! And I thought, oh, I'm somewhere new now. And I said something like, I never used to get babies in the garbage, but now I understand it. And they did that. And I thought, I'd rather have that than the shit tepid laughter for my 15-year-old jokes. So I started going down this road, and he was always the beacon for me, always, this guy. He always gave me the courage. He says, you know, the line that Kevin quoted, where he said people at abortion rallies are usually anti-abortion rallies are people who wouldn't want to fuck in the first place. He opened a special with that at Carnegie Hall. He comes out on stage, you have to watch it, and he doesn't milk the crowd for applause. They're applauding, and he goes, they're all going, George, and he goes, yeah, I got to get this out. You ever notice the people, anti-abortion rallies, are people who want to fuck in the first place? And most comedians would do like, you know, a good half an hour of really sweet material and couch that joke in a lot of, but he just had to get it out there. So he set that example for me, and that's the way I've done my act. And since then, I've done 3 comedy specials, and I've started down the same road. It's been a massive change for me. I feel every year I've got something to work for. I'm doing exactly what he taught me to do. And on stage, I feel a courage to say what I want to say because of this guy. And anyway, a few years ago, I was about to tape my second stand-up special, and he was taping the same night. In LA. He taped his last special on the same night that I taped one. And I remember feeling like, this is amazing that I do what this great man does, and that we do it in the same way. And he died, and he kicked me in the balls when he died. It really hurt. And then I remember that, and I don't want to be doing this, I'm sorry. But later I was at a whatever, it doesn't matter, and my phone rang, and it was his daughter, it was Kelly. And I have 2 kids, and they're girls. So I thought, he's got a daughter, and his daughter's calling me. And I know what it means to have a daughter, because I have 2. And she's calling me and asking me to come and say something about what he meant to me. So that was a big moment for me. I'm very proud to do what George did. I know I was supposed to close funny, but I'm not good at doing stuff that isn't my act, so I'm sorry. But he was a great man, and anything that ever happens to me that's good is due to this guy. And I can tell you, because I do what he did, that it was really hard to say the shit that he did, and that it took a lot of courage. It was difficult. So thanks for coming and honoring him, and thanks for having me.
And then we got maybe a little movie talk.
I gotta get the trailer, man.
You do have to hear that, Jimmy?
I have to. It's awful.
Well, Wall-E is opening this weekend. It's getting like 90% positive reviews on RottenTomatoes.com. Another Pixar animation movie from Disney. And then Wanted, Angelina Jolie's movie with Morgan Freeman.
Right with him.
I wonder if he's going to like play a different character in this movie, or is he going to play the same character he plays in every effing movie
The guy who says wise things with that voice.
Oh, yeah. Stinks.
Very low spoken. Go back to Electric Company, you speckled face weirdo.
It wasn't even that great as The Pimp. I bought that movie on Otto's recommendation, that dumb Christopher Reeve movie. Streetwise.
Okay.
It wasn't even that great as a pimp.
No.
He's awful. Andy Dufresne. Oh, drop dead.
Andy Dufresne.
I gotta correct myself.
I'd like to say the sisters never got to Andy.
Wall-E's getting 98% positive reviews.
I hate that movie.
Who's the douche that decided the movie sucks?
I hate Wall-E. I hate that little I've seen those little Pixar animations where it's a cute lamp.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cute. It's looking
lamp
up like a funny lamp.
It's
and there's
got little
squeaky
eyes.
noises. Shut up.
Oh, that was
some nerd animator just sitting
that's
there
where it all
working diligently.
I know what you're talking about. That's where it all began with Pixar. It was just a quick little 2-3 minute short.
Those little things before movies that would, and then afterwards everybody would go, shut up. It's not cute. Don't like it.
Morgan Freeman was good in Glory. I love him in Glory. Yeah, he was very good in that.
It was hard to be bad in that movie. It was just a darn good movie.
Oh, easy with the language, Lou.
Here's the Eddie Murphy trailer that is driving a lot of people nuts around here.
I have not heard it, but I'm sure it's fun.
Oh, it's horrible.
Well, we've pointed out over the last year or two that Eddie Murphy makes the same movie where it's Eddie Murphy as...
And it's usually like a new movie starring Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy.
And Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. It's like he's got to play 18 characters in movies now.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a drama like that. You know, like Robert Duvall and Robert Duvall in the cancer story.
He plays the rapist and the victim.
He's the rapist and the victim and the old man who's dying of cancer. Well, he's all three of them with prosthetics, but it's not funny. Well, and he wears a fat suit, but for a dramatic reason, like a drama fat suit.
Well, just when you thought Eddie Murphy couldn't get worse with this whole, end Eddie Murphy thing, listen to this.
On July 11th, it's Eddie Murphy in Eddie Murphy.
In Eddie Murphy. In Eddie Murphy.
See, now he's inside himself. Eddie Murphy is now...
Eddie Murphy. I can't even say it. I'm laughing.
This is outrageous. Listen, you're not going to believe this one, folks.
On July 11th, it's Eddie Murphy in Eddie Murphy.
You put that thing down, the guy's an inch tall. You look like a wuss.
This summer...
Stop.
Do you have superpowers or something? You have forgotten your weapon.
He's saving the world.
The fate of many depend on me. That is entirely too much force.
From the inside out.
Fire! Yeah, boy, yeah!
Meat Day, rated PG, July 11th.
Here's how this happened. Here's how this happened. A couple of comedy movie writers were on the Paramount lot working on some Eddie Murphy stink bag vehicle. Mm-hmm. And they were just like us talking about, does this guy have any move besides Eddie Murphy and then somebody went, Eddie Murphy in Eddie Murphy. Like, that's how dumb it is. Yeah. And then somebody went, oh Jesus, that's it. We're going to make money. Yeah. And they backed in the actual idea for the movie they started with the tag. That's how movies are made now. They started with what's going to be on the poster. Eddie Murphy in
Eddie Murphy. And then said, all right, we'll have him as a giant robot thing. Mm-hmm. And then he'll be controlling him from inside his head.
Yeah. How do we get to Eddie Murphy in Eddie Murphy?
Yeah. We could make it a gay sex movie.
Doesn't matter what it is. And they went into some executive's office and said, here's the next movie. Eddie Murphy in Eddie Murphy. And the guy went, just figure out a way to get to that makes any sense, and we'll give you money and you'll make it.
Exactly how that crap
I swear to you, that's how that happened. And then they figured out this stupid, and just as long as he goes, ha! And, I do want to talk like this with my mouth wide. And then, of course, when he talks like this, just get him to do those things.
And his little laugh.
And then we make the poster and take another big dump on it. Sorry, jeez.
When did people, like, he's a funny guy. Like, when did he start to become irritating? Like, what? Maybe because he never did, like, a real drama. I didn't like Dreamgirls. Is that why? Like, Pryor did dramas. He was a better actor anyway, but he did dramas.
Yeah.
Like, he did Lady Sings the Blues. He did Blue Collar.
Difference between those guys to me, because Pryor was like this really genuine guy with this great personality and soul and stuff. Eddie's he's like an athlete. To me, he's unbelievably funny when he's funny, but it's just this ability he has. You know, like when you watch an athlete and you're so in awe of them, you start to think they must be amazing as a person, and then they talk and they go, duh. And you go, wow, you're not even aware of how cool what you do is. You're not, your brain doesn't measure up to your courage. Eddie's the same. I mean, he's just basically, he's a rich guy from Hollywood. So he used to be this young kid from Brooklyn, but he was driven by hunger to be successful. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a guy. I mean, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor was so full of incredible feelings and thoughts and ideas, and you put him in a movie, and it was great.
So you're saying that he lost his edge?
Yeah,
he gets a little lazy because you get the money and everything. Yeah. You could imagine.
I mean, I don't know him, and maybe he's, the other way is he's just a businessman. Like, whatever, the guy who owns Kellogg's or the guy who owns Exxon, or people like, God, that guy stinks. Well, no, he's just slamming down the bucks. This guy's making millions of dollars every year with movies that totally people definitely go to. He's got a sustaining box office quotient, but that doesn't make him interesting. Just makes him some dude with a lot of money.
I wonder how much his movies make, because, I mean, obviously people do go to him. I mean...
he doesn't have...
Still do well.
He doesn't have bombs, for the most part.
Yeah. No, and also he gave up on guys like us who actually liked him when he was a young comic. He doesn't care about us anymore. These are for kids. These movies are for kids.
That's true.
These are multiplex.
This is,
Can I get 2 for the Eddie Murphy movie? They don't even know what even knows the
Eddie Murphy movie.
3 for Eddie Murphy.
That's what you want. New Eddie Murphy movie. All right, let's move on. We got the gun thing. We got the car running on vegetable
don't be the
oil.
man's jumping out of the other man's ear. This looks
It's
very
the same
funny.
man. It's the same. How did they do that?
It's hysterical.
How did they get a man to jump out of his own ear?
Why not have him jump out of somewhere else? It would have been much funnier. Ties his shoes, the other Eddie falls out. Falls on the back of his pant leg.
Like others, our last guest is an all-rounder. Actor, comedian, Emmy Award-winning writer, filmmaker. He is ranked number 98 on Comedy Central's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Time. But what the fuck do they know? For us, he's number one tonight, Louis C.K.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. I'm happy just to be here as a ticket holder, just to watch everything that's happened. The Stiller family, and that was crazy. And Kevin, and the guy that looks like Dick Cheney at the end there. A very, very nice version of Dick Cheney. He's not a lizard, I don't think. But I think I can just tell you what George is. I'm a comedian, and I do what he did. And he was the first person I knew that I knew what comedy was. Children love to laugh, but most people that make children laugh for a living suck at it. Clowns aren't funny. There doesn't exist a funny clown. If a person was funny, they'd do comedy because you make money doing it. No clowns. There's no HBO clown specials if you make a bunch of money. So clowns suck. And kids just look at them and just go, just please stop trying to make me laugh. There's nothing worse than a person who's not funny trying to be funny, and that's what a clown is. A guy waiting for a bus is funnier than a shit clown at a kid's party. So, but kids need to laugh, so the first time you really laugh means a lot to you. And I remember my first big, like, grown-up feeling laugh, and I saw George Carlin on Saturday Night Live, and he said, what do dogs do on their day off? They can't lay around, that's their job. And something went off, and I just couldn't stop laughing. And the idea was born in my head at that moment. I want to be funny. I want to be a comedian. I didn't know that a grown person could be a comedian. That's an incredible thing to me. And I had other heroes, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, Bill Cosby, but George was like me. He was an East Coast Catholic. I had something to identify with him. And the first time I remember getting a laugh, I was in fourth grade, and they asked the class, the teacher said, there are 3 bones in the skull. Name one. And I said, the noggin. And I got a big laugh. And I thought, hey, I could do this. I could be like George. So I started doing, right out of high school, started doing stand-up. Didn't go to college, didn't pursue anything else professionally, really. Started doing stand-up. First time I went on stage, I did a minute and a half, and I bombed. It was terrible. But I wanted it so badly that I kept trying, and I learned how to write jokes. And I just had jokes, kind of funny thoughts. And about 15 years later, I had been going in a circle that didn't take me anywhere. Nobody gave a shit who I was, and I didn't either. I honestly didn't. I used to hear my act and go, this is shit, and I hate it. But I've been doing this for 15 years, and stopping now is like getting out of prison. Like, what do you do after 15 years of stand-up comedy? How do you re-enter the workforce? So I was in a really bad place. I hated my act. I've been doing the same hour of comedy for 15 years, and it was shit, I promise you. And I was working places like Chinese restaurants, and I'd do a show in a Chinese restaurant where they don't even know there's a show going to happen. They're there to eat, and all of a sudden you'd go, hey, everybody, and people are like, I'm eating. I don't want to be forced to sit in this. So I was doing a Chinese restaurant called the Kowloon in Boston, in Saugus, Massachusetts, and I was sitting in my car after the show just feeling like, this was all a big mistake. I'm not good enough. And I felt like my jokes were a trap. And I listened to a CD of George talking about comedy, and the workshopping it and talking about it seriously. And the thing that blew me away about this fellow was that he just kept putting out specials. Every year there'd be a new George Carlin special, a new George Carlin album. They just kept coming, and each one was deeper than the next. And I just thought, how can he do that? And it made me literally cry that I could never do that. I was telling the same jokes for 15 years. So I'm listening, and they ask him, how do you do all this material? And I'm like, and I hear him, and he says, well, I just decided every year I'd be working on that year's special. And I'd do the special, and then I'd just chuck out the material. And I'd start again with nothing. And I thought, that's crazy. How do you throw away? It took me 15 years to build this shitty hour. If I throw it away, I got nothing. But he gave me the courage to try, and also I was desperate. What the fuck else was I going to do? This idea that you throw everything away and you start over again. And I thought, well, okay, when you're done telling jokes about airplanes and dogs, and you throw those away, what do you got left? You can only dig deeper. Start talking about your feelings and who you are. And then you do those jokes and they're gone. You got to dig deeper. So then you start thinking about your fears and your nightmares and doing jokes about that. And then they're gone. And then you start going into just weird shit. Yeah, eventually you get to your balls. But there's a whole... It's a process that I watched him do my whole life, and I started to try to do it. And I started to think, because he says whatever he wants. What do I really want to say that I'm afraid to say? And at the time I was a father. I am still a father. But at the time I had started, I didn't take off yet. The jury's out. My oldest is 8. I could still split. So far I'm still there. I was having a lot of hard time being a father. And I wanted to say it on stage. And one night I thought, okay, forget all the old jokes. I'm going to start again. And I thought of the first thing. I said, I can't have sex with my wife, because we have a baby, and our baby's a fucking asshole. It's just what I was feeling, and I said it. And the audience went, whoa! And I thought, oh, I'm somewhere new now. And I said something like, I never used to get babies in the garbage, but now I understand it. And they did that. And I thought, I'd rather have that than the shit tepid laughter for my 15-year-old jokes. So I started going down this road. And he was always the beacon for me, always, this guy. He always gave me the courage. He says, the line that Kevin quoted, where he said people at abortion rallies are usually anti-abortion rallies are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place. He opened a special with that at Carnegie Hall. He comes out on stage. You have to watch it, and he doesn't milk the crowd for applause. They're applauding, and he goes, they're all going, George, and he goes, yeah. I got to get this out. You ever notice the people anti-abortion rallies are people who want to fuck in the first place? And most comedians would do a good half an hour of really sweet material and couch that joke in but he just had to get it out there. So he set that example for me, and that's the way I've done my act. And since then I've done 3 comedy specials, and I've started down the same road. It's been a massive change for me. I feel every year I've got something to work for. I'm doing exactly what he taught me to do, and on stage I feel a courage to say what I want to say because of this guy. And anyway, a few years ago, I was about to tape my second stand-up special, and he was taping the same night in LA. He taped his last special on the same night that I taped one, and I remember feeling like, this is amazing that I do what this great man does, and that we do it in the same way. And he died, and he kicked me in the balls when he died. It really hurt. And then I remember that, and I don't want to be doing this, I'm sorry, but later I was at it doesn't matter, and my phone rang, and it was his daughter, it was Kelly. And I have 2 kids, and they're girls. So I thought, he's got a daughter, and his daughter is calling me. And I know what it means to have a daughter, because I have 2. And she's calling me and asking me to come and say something about what he meant to me. So that was a big moment for me. I'm very proud to do what George did. I know I was supposed to close funny, but I'm not good at doing stuff that isn't my act, so I'm sorry. But he was a great man, and anything that ever happens to me that's good is due to this guy. And I can tell you, because I do what he did, that it was really hard to say the shit that he did, and that it took a lot of courage. It was difficult. So thanks for coming and honoring him, and thanks for having me.
It's an artistic piece of art. Look, it's called Bag of Shit.
Now take yourself through that logically. I'm a man, I've got 2 little girls. I'm not allowed in the ladies' room. I mean, not me personally, I didn't get banned. I can't go in the ladies' room because I got a big old penis. So I just can't go in. I'm not bragging that it's not big like porny, thrusty penis. It's just big like an old man's nose. Just kind of like, just...
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Why? It says press.
So you press the thing because it says press? You would not have survived the camps.
Why? It's... Dude. It says press.
Go ahead.
Why would they make it say press?
Press the arc button. Enjoy.
Nigger.
Whoa.
I love my kids, but I want them to stop at bedtime. So I just want them to go to sleep so I can eat all the ice cream in a house that would break their hearts if they knew how much ice cream. There's so much ice cream in the house, and I never give it to them. It's mine. I wait till they're sleeping and I eat it in their room in the dark over their beds.
People dressed up more when I was a kid. Like, if you went on an airplane, people dressed up. You didn't have to, but people wore suits.
That's right.
On airplanes, because you're going to fly and smoke in a baby's face. So you want to...
Also, I'm not allowed in the ladies' room because I love looking at people's vaginas anytime that I have that opportunity. You know, it's amazing that we still need separate rooms to pee in. As human beings, men are so disgusting that we can't be trusted to pee in the same room. So I have to take my girls to the men's room, which is awesome. Look, girls, 9 penises.
I'll take an 11:30 p.m. nap and go to bed at midnight.
Oh, come on.
Yes, because I don't take a nap because I need one. I just love it's my favorite thing.
You like it better than sleep? Sleep is like the ultimate nap.
That's stupid you just said that. That was a dumb thing to say.
What are you talking about?
That was such a dumb thing to say.
But I love my girls. I'm trying to stay in shape. No, I'm not. I have a doctor who told me that I eat too fast. He said you should eat slowly. Because what happens is when you eat, there's a signal that goes from your stomach to your brain that says you're full. But it takes that signal 20 minutes to travel from your stomach. First of all, what a douchebag my body is.
I like them better than sex, even. I like naps better than sex. I do. Oh, now you're not so excited before you applaud. Oh, nap. Oh. Not better than sex? That's very controversial.
Controversy there.
Yes. It is better than sex because, first of all, a nap is always 100% successful. It's never...
But no, the reason people honk is to critique that has already happened.
What do you mean? Like what? Like what?
Well, it's not to avert, it's just to go beep, hey. Like, why do you get to sound a trumpet because you're unhappy? Why does everybody beep, you shit in it? It's no different than being in a store and someone gets in front of you and you just go, ugh. I was born in 1967, and so I grew up in the 70s. So I'm not racist. However,
the way I used to get excited about sex when I was like 20, when you know you're going to have sex, there's no more excitement. It's better than sex itself, is knowing it's going to happen. When you're young, because when you're 20, you don't believe in anything. You just have... Every time a young man has sex, like the second it's over, he's like, oh, it's probably the last time. Like it gets sad right away.
You're the only person we could find who would come here to defend masturbation.
Well, I like it. It's easy and it's fun and nobody gets hurt.
it is because my kids are like Israel and Palestine. And I'm like America. The little one's like Palestine because she always gets screwed. She gets the worst deals. She's like, she threw a rock at my face. I'm like, you're fine. Look, you have a great life. You get to take a rock to the face once in a while. You're fine.
Well, it's the way that we can find someone and marry them and enjoy each other under his loving gaze.
When you mean that God watches married people have sex?
Well, God watches over everything.
So we're like porn for God. He watches us, and then he probably masturbates.
We had a town child molester. His name was Jean-Baptiste. It's a true story. And he liked teenage boys. That's when you would find out, because I was a teenage boy. He didn't like me. I felt a little bad.
You're on a date, and it's going well, and then like when she reaches for your belt, like when she makes that move, and you're like, this is
sex. Like you just, this is going to happen. I'm going to have sex now.
And she's like, what?
Sorry, I shouldn't have said it out loud. But,
Have you ever tried?
Tried not to masturbate?
Yes.
Well, sometimes I won't do it for like a week, but that's just so that when I do it again, it'll be way better.
But what if you really stopped? What if you saved that urge inside of you and thought of it as something sacred? Until you meet the right person and you love them and then you get married to them and then you can give that to them as a gift.
Have you ever been married?
No.
I was married for 9 years, and believe me, God was not smiling.
You know, kids are mean, and it's because they're trying it out. They look at a kid and they go, "You're fat," and then they see the kid's face scrunch up and they go, "Ooh, that doesn't feel good to make a person do that."
Right.
But they got to start with doing the mean thing. But when they write "you're fat," then they just go, that was fun. I like that." Because I hate when I see billboard. They tell me everything before I see a show. You see a preview for a movie, you're like, I just saw the movie. Why did you tell me everything? Excuse me.
We have meetings. It's like a town hall. We bring people together and inspire them to walk a path of purity. You're welcome to come. I'd be happy if you did.
Sounds like a lot of bullshit.
It's the best I could do coming out of the 70s because that was a very racist decade. People said racist things all the time, and nobody got offended. The only time somebody got offended if you said something racist in the 70s is when they would then say, like, hey, you interrupted me. I was saying something racist. Why did you? If Neil Diamond sang it or something like that, I don't know, you're doing impressions.
Neil Diamond.
I don't remember any impressions. And then you would turn around and you'd kind of wiggle your ass a little bit because you had, you were young and you had a tight little ass, so you wiggle your ass.
What are you talking about?
I'm just making observations. I didn't have any feelings about it. I'm just saying what I saw. Here's a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because there was a black guy walking behind him. And he was nervous. He was new to the city, this chicken. And he was like, I feel like he's following me, but I'm not sure.
Masturbating's really important to you.
Yeah, it is. It keeps me sane. I'm a good citizen. I'm a good father. I recycle and I masturbate. And I'm proud of it. And God's happy. And later I'm going to masturbate and I'm going to think about you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Like any other, even a musician, even being a musician, and on there, what are you doing? Don't be a musician. That's a stupid thing to do for a living. But if it doesn't work out the way you wanted, you can look at these. You've got these guys here. These guys. Okay. What are you talking about? I'm thinking of buying a goat. Because I want to have a trash can that I can make love to. So that's why I'm going to buy a goat. So I can have sex with a trash can. I can do that with a trash can I have now, but a goat has a vagina. That makes it a lot better. I don't care that you're upset. I got to get the phone and write hi to like 50 people. And then, somebody cool writes back, and then somebody not as cool writes after, and I'm like, oh, you, I'm not going to... I got somebody better. Flowery hello before you get to talk about food. This is how to answer the phone at room service at a fancy hotel. Like, hello, I hate it. I never let them. I call down, they're like, hello, stop. Bacon, eggs, and coffee, don't read it back. I'm mean.
Dancing is a terrible career choice. You like watching it, but you think it's a terrible career choice.
Worst available career choice.
What are you talking about?
A massive amount of dedication followed by giving up. That's what they all have to give up. I had laundry. I was waiting for it, so I called housekeeping. Now, they don't answer the phone all fancy at housekeeping. This is how she answered the phone. She goes, hello? And I actually said this to her. I said, do you want to try that again? Yes, I'm letting you know about me. That's what I said. I guess I just like the hit from going, oh!
Yeah.
Like I'll go on my computer and I'll like Google an image that I don't want to see. So then I see a whole wall of it.
Yeah.
Like big dicks with nails in them. Here's another example of mild racism. If I say I'm in a hospital and the doctor comes in to treat me and the doctor's from China or India, I'll think, well, good. More of that. Why not?
The first episode was $5.
Yeah.
And then the second episode was $2.
$2, yeah.
And then the third episode went up to $3.
Yeah.
It's because it's just me going like.
I made an ass of myself with Ed Norton once.
What'd you do?
Ed, yes. He came into the cellar to see Jeff Ross because he's putting him in a movie or something.
So Jimmy, what happened?
So
I was busy.
He didn't get
Well,
a movie
his
part?
big thing is Edward Norton, his good friend, comes down to see him.
Yes,
at the cellar.
He was there recently too.
Apparently,
David
he
Blaine.
goes down and sees a lot of comics and puts some of them in movies.
Yeah, but who knows what the movie's about? He couldn't need an old Walter Matthau-looking man, and that's why
Well,
Jeff was hired.
Perfect for the part.
But so Jeff went on and he did his set, and then I went on after him, and Norton stayed in the room. And I just killed. I had a great set. And so him and Jeff were hanging out in a booth upstairs afterwards. And I don't even care who Ed Norton is, but he's a celebrity, and I just part of me just wants him to say something nice. Yeah. So I kind of started standing around their booth looking like I'm doing things I'm not doing, hoping that he's going to go, hey, you were awesome. And I just didn't get any play. I kept trying to get in his line of sight. It was fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Totally helpless to those feelings. I don't know what made me do it. And then finally I just fucking walked past their booth, which wasn't like the comics booth. It was very out of my way, looking like, I'm leaving out this way anyway. And said goodbye to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, see you later. I never would say goodbye to Jeff Ross on the way out of a car. I got to say goodbye to Jeff Ross. I can't let him. In a million years, I wouldn't say goodbye to him. I fucking almost don't like him. And then Norton. So I say goodbye to Jeff, and then I finally just look him right in the fucking face and force him to. He goes, "Hey, it was good, and then continues talking to him.
Oh wow! You made him give you a compliment.
I made him.
Oh my god!
I made him either tell me to fuck off. I gave him a choice between tell me to fuck off or tell me I did a good job. Barely.
It sounds like he gave you a little of both.
A little of both.
Yeah.
He did.
Good. Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking useless.
You want so much validation the other night.
All right. Louis talks about coming. From
what?
Is this from your actual special that's airing October 4th on Showtime?
Which one that is. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't never seen that.
How
CD
many
in my
coming
life.
jokes do you have?
I talk about coming a lot. I have like thousands and thousands.
What do you think the
of them.
C and CK stands for? He's the cum kid.
The cum kid.
First joke about my name that made any sense ever.
Yeah, there.
Right there. People have always CK's. CK. Well, so what's your
carp kisser?
Yeah, they can't do it.
That's cock without the vowel and the other C. I think this is from your Showtime special. So we're going to give people a preview of what they're in for October 4th when it's on Showtime at 11 o'clock.
Because I need to come. I need to. Coming is a need. I came the first time when I was 12, and I haven't skipped a day. I come every day. And I've fucked maybe 20 times in my life, so... It's just been me doing most of the work. And I really, I jerk off way too much, and it upsets me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's so selfish. I don't know what it is, but I know it's bad. I know I'm hurting somebody somewhere. There's something wrong with it. Like, I was thinking the other day that you can figure out how bad a person you are by how soon after September 11th you masturbated, like how long you waited. And for me, it was between the two buildings going down. So I have a feeling I had to do it. I had to. Otherwise, they win. That's the way I was looking at it at the time. This was a strange time for all of us.
Louis hitting it out of the park, man.
The audio quality on that is so good. That the laughs, what happens with a lot of shoots is the way they shoot the laughs or they mic that is a fucking great.
It's because
man.
it's because you have to look after it because when you go in to do a special. They overlight the audience and they under-mic everything. And you have to tell them, I need to feel loud as a motherfucker, and I need to be really, really, I need the audience to be pitch black. And they go, well, then we can't see him, and and you say, shut up, it's not your special, you fucking old douche.
It says Louis C.K. special.
Why do they want to light the audience? Why?
Bob the
Because they want to cut to
special.
somebody laughing so that it's easier to edit it. And it makes editing easier, but it doesn't, if you don't do it, it doesn't make it impossible. You just have to fucking spend a little more time in the room. I edited this special. I also directed it.
But how does it help the,
I didn't want any more
you
bullshit.
mean the pitch black is just a better...
I just here, the reason to me to have it dark in the audience is that, especially if you're doing the kind of humor that you and I do, Jim, which is very honest and bold, people in the audience don't want to be looking at each other. They want to feel like they're in the dark, and they want to feel like you're so loud that if they scream, they're still going to hear you.
And so you can't see the...
Yes, exactly. Those people are all. You don't want to see those people.
It's my beep.
You'll know they're there.
I had to see if it works. That's all. I don't care how many are in the audience.
It's too late. Timing's everything, my friend.
You're right. I hate seeing the
Missed your
audience.
opportunity.
Yeah, no, and they don't like seeing each other. It makes them inhibited.
I hate fucking seeing the audience. In my special, I can see them. God damn it, why
They
did I
hate
fucking-
seeing you too.
They don't.
No, they love
I'm a
Jimmy. I'm
treat.
kidding. That's the joke.
I was voted most likely to be a treat in high school. Boy, most likely to be misinterpreted as a treat.
Ted the treat? I don't
No, it's not
understand.
Ted, it's
Oh,
me.
it sounded like Ted for a minute. Ted's a little loud. I do Ted impressions all the time at home. I just love doing Ted impressions.
Louis, that sounds nothing like Ted.
Yes, it does. You have to kind of look up. And why'd you call him Louis?
Louis, I was going to say Louis is Ted really enjoys Louis.
You really made a mistake and called me Louis.
No, I was actually thinking of Louis, and I was thinking of Ted.
Do you hate when that happens?
Always. Because
okay, Opie, enough.
Ted's thing. I fancy Louis C.K.'s humor. He's a little harsh with the language. I don't care for that. Ted's a prude. Yes, Ted doesn't like the language.
Ted is a lot of things. All right, hey.